Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Mythology Channel. I'm so glad you found your way here, because tonight we begin an epic journey. Not just into the mysterious world of ancient Egypt, but to the very dawn of existence itself. A time when the world was nothing but water, stretching endlessly in all directions. A vast and dark expanse called none. In that boundless silence, beings breathed the cosmos into life and light. We follow Atum as he awakens from the abyss to shape the heavens and the earth. We visit the wisdom of Thoth, the god of words and magic, guardian of secret knowledge. And finally, we'll walk along the banks of the Nile, where divine powers shaped the eternal cycle of life and death. If you'd like to follow along with the series, you're warmly invited to subscribe. Now, let us drift gently into the first moment of creation, where silence breaks and the waters begin to stir. Before the world began, there was only none, the endless, boundless ocean of primordial waters stretching beyond sight and thought. None was not a place as we know it, but a vast and silent abyss, dark and still, holding within its depths all that would ever be. It was a silence so deep that time itself seemed to rest, suspended in the infinite calm. In this endless watery void, no light reached, no wind blew, and no life stirred. It was a sacred and timeless expanse, a cosmic womb where all potential waited quietly, hidden beneath the surface. This watery vastness held no form or shape, no beginning or end, only the great mystery of what might become. Beneath the stillness, the currents moved unseen, carrying the promise of creation like a whispered secret. To the ancient Egyptians, none was the eternal abyss, the source of all life and order, the dark waters from which the world would one day rise. It was both the end and the beginning. The eternal, silent sea, where the first breath of existence awaited its awakening. From this boundless stillness, a presence stirred, a self-created being who emerged alone from the depths. Atum, the first god, rose slowly and deliberately, whole and complete in himself. Neither born nor made, Atum was both the spark and the flame, the beginning and the end, who broke the silence with a breath that kindled the cosmos. His awakening was the first movement in the dance of creation, a deliberate unfolding that set all things into motion. With his breath, Atum called forth Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture, his children born of will and desire. These two forces began the sacred dance of existence, shaping the heavens and the earth. Atum's breath became the wind. His gaze became the sky, his moisture, the fertile rain. From this first family, the Ennead would grow, the divine circle whose stories weave the fabric of all life, death, and rebirth. And so, from the silent depths of none, the world began to stir, and creation took its first breath. From the endless stillness of none, Shu and Tefnut took shape, born not from flesh, but from Atum's will and breath. Shu, the god of air, rose with a calm strength, invisible yet essential, a breath between worlds. He held the space where life might unfold, the unseen force that separated earth from sky. Tefnut, the goddess of moisture, followed close behind, a presence soft and vital, carrying the promise of rain and dew, the life-giving waters that would nourish the world. Together, they formed the first living movement in the cosmos, a pair bound by love and purpose, balancing each other like the breath and heartbeat of existence itself. Their emergence marked the birth of duality, the first echo of Ma'at's sacred balance. Shu's breath parted the dark waters, lifting the sky from the earth, while Tefnut's moisture gave shape to clouds and mist. In their union, air and water mingled, mingling life and mystery in a dance as old as time. They were the first breath and the first moisture, the invisible and the tangible, forever entwined in the unfolding story of creation. As they moved through the sky and over the land, Shu and Tefnut set the rhythm of the world. Their breath became the wind that stirred the silent waters, their moisture, the gentle rain that whispered over the earth. The dance they began was endless, cycles of dryness and wetness, heat and coolness, breath and exhale. In this sacred balance, the world found its first pulse, its first harmony. The unseen forces of air and moisture shaped the very fabric of life, carrying within them the seed of all that would grow. Thus, the sacred dance began, an eternal weaving of breath and water, sky and earth, light and shadow. Through Shu and Tefnut, the cosmos breathed, and from their union, all life would one day spring. The world continued to unfold as Jeb, the earth, and Nut, the sky, emerged from the breath and moisture of Shu and Tefnut. Geb lay below, vast and solid, his body stretching wide to hold the weight of all living things. His form was the fertile soil, the ground beneath footsteps, the foundation of life. Above him arched Nut, the boundless sky goddess, a body a sweeping canopy sprinkled with stars. She stretched over Jeb in a loving embrace, her limbs curving to enfold the world below, creating the space where day and night would unfold in endless cycles. Jeb and Nut were not simply shapes, but living forces intertwined in an eternal embrace. Between them flowed the breath of Shu, the air that held Nut aloft and kept earth and sky apart. Their relationship was one of balance and tension. Neither could fully touch, yet neither could exist without the other. From their union came the seasons, the changing skies, and the rhythm of life itself. Their love was a cosmic dance, the tender yet powerful force that shaped mountains, rivers, and the very land beneath the stars. In this vast embrace, the first balance of Ma'at, the sacred order, was set into motion. Ma'a was the principle that held chaos at bay, weaving harmony between opposites, light and dark, order and change, life and death. It was both a law and a living force, guiding the gods and mortals alike. As Jeb and Nut held the world between them, Ma'at's quiet power ensured that all things remained in their rightful place, moving with purpose and grace. Thus, from breath to body, from sky to earth, the cosmos took shape, held steady by the gentle hand of balance. The world was no longer silent water, but a living, breathing whole, a sacred harmony born from the first stirrings of creation. From the union of earth and sky came a symbol of profound promise, the cosmic egg, a seed of creation nestled within the sacred waters. This egg was not merely a shape, but the very essence of potential, a vessel containing the mysteries of life yet to unfold. It rested in the quiet depths between Jeb and Nut, cradled by their embrace, waiting to break open and release the fullness of being into the world. Within this egg lay the power of birth and renewal, the spark that would ignite all existence. It was the seed from which the gods and all creation would emerge, the silent promise held in the darkness before dawn. The cosmic egg was a reminder that from stillness and union, new life always stirs, an eternal cycle of endings and beginnings, held safe within the sacred balance of Ma'at. As the egg waited to hatch, the gods watched over the fragile promise it held. Their presence wove the threads of destiny and fate, guarding the harmony that allowed creation to flourish. This moment, poised between silence and sound, darkness and light, was the threshold of all things to come, the sacred boundary between what is and what will be. In the quiet heart of creation, the cosmic egg held the breath of possibility. From it would rise the stories of gods and mortals, of life and death, of love and struggle. It was the seed of all beginnings, the sacred vessel carrying the endless dance of existence, waiting patiently to open and give birth to the world's unfolding story. In the unfolding cosmos, the balance of Ma'at settled softly like a feather, light yet unyielding, delicate yet absolute. Ma'at was more than order. She was the measure of truth itself, the gentle but firm guide that kept the universe aligned. Her feather, thin and perfect, became the symbol of justice and harmony, against which the heart of every soul would one day be weighed. This feather was the quiet heartbeat of the world, the unseen force that separated right from wrong, chaos from calm. Ma'at's presence was felt in the steady rising of the sun, the turning of the stars, and the very breath that moved through the gods. She was the principle that held the cosmic dancing rhythm, ensuring that every force had its place, every story its meaning. To live in accordance with Ma'at was to honor the sacred balance, to walk gently, speak truthfully, and hold respect for all that exists. The feather was both a promise and a challenge, reminding gods and mortals alike that harmony requires constant care, that the scales must always be tended. In this delicate balance, the universe found its soul. Ma'at's feather measured not only deeds but the very essence of being, a silent witness to the eternal dance of light and shadow, order and change. In the ever-unfolding tapestry of creation, duality emerged as the sacred thread weaving light and darkness, male and female, day and night, into a harmonious whole. This balance was no mere opposition but a dynamic dance, each side defining and supporting the other. Light could not shine without darkness to frame it, and strength found meaning alongside gentleness. In the eternal rhythm of Ma'at, these forces intertwined, shaping the world with their endless interplay. Male and female energies flowed through the gods and the land alike. Shu, the breath of life, embodied the invisible air that lifted the sky, while Tefnut, the moisture, carried the life-giving waters that nourished earth and seed. Their union was not simply physical but cosmic, a merging of opposites that gave birth to the richness of existence. This sacred duality was reflected in every leaf, every ripple on the water, every shifting cloud, an ever-present reminder that balance was the heart of life. Light and darkness followed their own paths across the heavens, guided by the cycles of the sun and moon, their movements a mirror of the gods' eternal dance. From their union sprang the tides of day and night, the seasons' gentle shifts, and the turning of time itself. Each moment held within it the echo of this first balance, a world alive in constant motion, yet steady and sure beneath the stars. Through this harmony of duality, the cosmos breathed and moved. The sacred opposites, male and female, light and shadow, formed the foundation of all that would be, forever entwined in the unfolding story of creation. Shu, the breath of life, holds the sky. Shu, born of Atum's breath, rose as the god of air, a presence unseen yet felt in every gust and whisper. He held the sky aloft, separating it from the earth below, creating the space in which life could flourish. Shu was the invisible breath that moved between worlds, the gentle wind that cools the day, and the fierce gale that shapes mountains. His essence was both life-giving and sustaining, the silent force that kept the heavens from collapsing. As the breath of life, Shu's role was vital and enduring. Without his steady presence, the sky goddess Nut would fall upon Jeb, the earth and chaos would reclaim the world. Shu's arms lifted Nut, supporting her vast form as she arched across the horizon. a living canopy above the fertile lands. In this balance, the space between earth and sky became sacred, a place of endless possibility and creation. Shu's breath moved in all directions, carrying seeds, scents, and sounds, linking all corners of the world. He was both the calm and the storm, the quiet exhale and the rushing wind, forever sustaining the rhythm of life. In Shu, the gods saw the unseen power of air, the vital breath that animates all living things and holds the cosmos in gentle suspension. Tefnut, born alongside her brother Shu, was the goddess of moisture and mystery, the flowing essence that nourished the earth and all its creatures. Where Shu's breath gave space and life, Tefnut's presence brought the waters, dew, rain, and mist that softened the world and made growth possible. She was both gentle and powerful, her touch delicate as morning dew, and fierce as the desert storms that could reshape the land. Her nature was fluid and changeful, a symbol of life's ebb and flow. As moisture, Tefnut shaped the very world itself. She wove through the skies and the lands, bringing clouds that gathered heavy with promise and releasing rain that fed the soil. Her presence was the secret song in the rivers, the hidden pulse beneath the fertile fields. In her mystery lay the cycles of birth, growth, and renewal, waters rising and falling, flowing and retreating in endless rhythm. To the ancient Egyptians, Tefnut was the life force that bridged heaven and earth, a vital breath between the seen and unseen. Her dual nature carried both creation and challenge moisture could nurture, but it could also bring flood and destruction. This balance mirrored the delicate dance of Ma'at, where power and restraint held the world in perfect harmony. Through Tefnut's shifting waters, the cosmos found fluid grace, a sacred flow that allowed life to flourish, yet reminded all of nature's capriciousness. Geb, the earth, lay beneath the sky's vast sweep, the solid ground that cradled life and death alike. He was the embodiment of the fertile land, mountains, valleys, fields, and deserts, stretching endlessly beneath Nut's protective arch. Geb's body was the foundation upon which all creatures walked, the source of grain and growth, and the resting place of the dead. He held the living close, offering sustenance and shelter, while also receiving the departed into his embrace. As the earth god, Geb was patient and enduring, yet he carried the power of renewal deep within his soil. From his depths sprang crops and life, fed by the waters gifted by Tefnut and shaped by Shu's breath. He was both giver and receiver, the silent guardian of the cycle of life and death. Geb's connection to the land made him a vital force in the sacred balance, a steady presence amid the shifting skies and flowing waters. Together, Geb and Tefnut wove the fabric of the world, earth and moisture, solid and fluid, life and mystery, held in delicate harmony beneath the breath of Shu and the watchful gaze of Nut. Nut, the vast sky goddess, stretched her luminous body across the heavens, a magnificent canopy arcing over the earth below. She was both mother and protector, her form cloaked in stars that shimmered like countless jewels scattered across midnight velvet. Each night, Nut swallowed the sun as it sank beneath her embrace, carrying it through the hidden realms before releasing it anew with dawn's first light. Her endless movement cradled the eternal cycle of day and night, a dance as old as time itself. Nut's body was not fixed, but alive with rhythm and grace. She bent and curved, folding the world within her celestial arms, her breath the cool wind that caressed the land. Beneath her vast expanse, life flourished. Plants reached upward, animals roamed freely, and rivers sparkled in the sunlight. Nut's presence was a gentle reminder of the heaven's protection, a sacred dome that sheltered all beneath its boundless reach. Her nightly journey carried the souls of the dead through the Duat, the mysterious underworld, where the mysteries of life and death intertwined. As guardian of the stars and the eternal sky, Nut wove the stories of beginnings and endings, light and darkness, weaving all into the cosmic fabric. In her infinite embrace, the world found its shelter, its cycles, and its promise of renewal. The world, born from breath and moisture, earth and sky, moved in a sacred rhythm, the everlasting cycle of balance and change that the Egyptians called Ma'at. This balance was not stillness, but a living, breathing harmony, where opposing forces wove together like threads in a tapestry, each giving meaning to the other. Day gave way to night, life to death, chaos to order, all held within the steady pulse of creation. The sun's journey across Nut's sky, the rising and falling of the Nile's waters, the changing seasons, all were signs of this eternal dance. Ma'at was the invisible hand guiding these rhythms, ensuring that every moment found its place in the endless flow. This cycle shaped not only the world, but the hearts of gods and mortals alike. To live in harmony with Ma'at was to honor the balance within and without, to walk gently upon the earth, to speak truthfully, and to respect the mysteries of life and death. Through this sacred order, the cosmos breathed, danced, and endured. Thus the universe thrummed with life, held steady by the timeless dance of balance in motion, a living testament to the sacred harmony woven at the dawn of creation. As the cosmos settled into its sacred rhythm, a new presence stirred, the brilliant light of Ra, the sun god whose birth would cast away darkness and herald the day. Ra rose from the horizon like a golden orb, the first spark of radiant life to dance across the sky. His light was not merely illumination, but the very essence of creation's warmth and energy, the life-giving force that stirred the sleeping world to awaken. Ra's birth was a moment of profound transformation. From the dark waters of Nun and the embrace of Nut's sky, he emerged anew each morning, a cycle of death and rebirth that echoed the eternal rhythm of Ma'at. His journey was both physical and divine, a blazing path that wove through the heavens, carrying with it the hopes and fears of gods and mortals alike. The light of Ra touched every corner of the earth, bringing growth to crops, life to creatures, and hope to hearts. Yet his brilliance also cast shadows, reminding all that light and darkness are forever entwined. In Ra's dawn, the world found both clarity and mystery, the promise of a new day, and the quiet knowledge that night would always return. Ra's journey across the sky was no simple flight, but a sacred voyage aboard the solar bark, a magnificent boat that carried the sun god through the heavens and beyond. This celestial vessel glided gracefully from dawn to dusk, its passage marking the hours and the turning of time itself. By day, the bark sailed across the bright sky, with Ra steering its course, illuminating the world below. But as the sun sank, the voyage grew darker and more perilous. Ra entered the mysterious realm of the Duat, the underworld where shadows and spirits dwelled. Here, he faced dangers unseen, serpents and chaos that sought to devour the light and halt the cycle of life. Yet Ra's strength and wisdom guided him through the night, battling the serpent Apophis and other forces that threatened the cosmic order. His journey was a heroic passage, a testament to endurance and renewal. With the coming dawn, Ra would emerge triumphant once more, bringing light back to the world and affirming the eternal cycle of day and night. The solar bark's voyage was more than myth. It was the heartbeat of the cosmos, a divine rhythm that kept the universe in balance and the world alive. As the night deepened, Ra journeyed through the shadowed realm of the Duat, the mysterious underworld that lay beyond the reach of mortal sight. This was a place of silence and secrets, where souls wandered and ancient powers dwelled. The darkness here was thick and deep, but Ra's light burned steadily, a beacon against the encroaching shadows. His passage was a sacred ritual, the sun god's voyage through death and rebirth, where the fate of the world hung in delicate balance. The underworld was alive with unseen forces, spirits, guardians, and mysteries older than time. Ra moved through this realm with purpose and grace, his presence casting a fragile glow that held chaos at bay. Every moment was a test, a struggle to maintain the harmony of creation against the relentless tide of night. The journey was long and perilous, filled with hidden dangers and trials that only the sun god could face. Among these dangers loomed the serpent Apophis, the embodiment of chaos and destruction. Each night, Apophis sought to swallow Ra's light, to drag the world into eternal darkness and undo the order set by Ma'at. The serpent's coils twisted through the Duat like a shadowy storm, threatening to engulf all in chaos. But Ra, armed with divine strength and guided by wisdom, confronted Apophis in a fierce battle that echoed through the realms. This nightly combat was more than conflict. It was the eternal struggle between order and chaos, light and shadow. Ra's triumph ensured the renewal of the world each dawn, the return of life and hope after the darkness. His victory was a promise that no night, however long or dark, could extinguish the light forever. Through this endless battle, the cycle of day and night was preserved, and the universe held its sacred balance. Osiris, the revered king and god of fertility, life, and death, held a sacred throne that balanced the realms of the living and the dead. His reign was one of order and prosperity, where the land flourished beneath his watchful gaze and the cycles of nature turned in harmonious rhythm. Osiris was more than a ruler. He was the embodiment of regeneration, the eternal promise that life would rise anew from death's shadow. His presence was calm and just, a beacon of hope for mortals who looked to him as a guide through the mysteries of existence. Osiris taught the people the sacred laws, the secrets of agriculture, and the ways to honor the gods. His kingdom was a realm of peace, where the boundaries between worlds were thin, and the promise of rebirth lived in every seed and season. Yet, behind this serene rule lay the threads of fate, woven tightly with love, betrayal, and transformation. Isis, the enchantress, was the heart of this divine tale, goddess of magic, healing, and devoted love. Her power was subtle yet immense, born of ancient knowledge whispered in sacred words and rites. Isis's love for Osiris was fierce and unwavering, a force that defied death itself. When tragedy struck and Osiris was torn from his throne by treachery, Isis's magic wove through the shadows, seeking to restore what was lost and reunite what had been broken. Her enchantments reached into the unseen realms, calling upon the mysteries of life and death, binding the threads of fate with spells of protection and resurrection. Isis embodied the power of transformation and hope, a living testament to the strength found in love's devotion. Through her, the promise of renewal burned bright, a light that would guide the world through darkness and despair toward the dawn of new beginnings. Set's betrayal was a shadow cast long and dark over the sacred throne of Osiris. Jealousy and hunger for power stirred within him, a tempest fueled by chaos and desire. Set, god of storms and disorder, envied the peace and prosperity Osiris had brought to the land. In his restless heart, he sought to shatter the harmony that held the cosmos in balance, to claim the throne and reshape the world in his turbulent image. With cunning and force, Set wove a treacherous plan. He invited Osiris to a feast where a beautifully crafted chest awaited, a trap sealed with dark intent. When Osiris laid himself within, Set's followers slammed the lid shut and cast the chest into the Nile's depths, drowning the king in shadow and silence. The land mourned, the skies darkened, and the delicate balance of Ma'at wavered under the weight of betrayal. Yet even in this fracture, hope remained. Isis, the devoted enchantress, refused to surrender to despair. Guided by love and magic, she embarked on a relentless quest to find Osiris's scattered body, determined to piece together what had been torn apart. Each fragment of Osiris's form carried the weight of loss and the promise of resurrection, a testament to the sacred cycle of death and rebirth. Her search was a journey through realms both visible and hidden, a weaving of spells, prayers, and rites that sought to restore wholeness from ruin. Isis's devotion breathed life into the broken king, a sacred act that transcended death itself. Through her, the shattered body of Osiris became a symbol of transformation, the enduring power of love to heal, renew, and rekindle the eternal flame of existence. Isis, her heart heavy yet unyielding, gathered the scattered pieces of Osiris's broken body with tender hands and sacred rites. Through whispered prayers and ancient magic, she wove life back into what death had claimed, summoning the breath of existence to return to the fallen king. Her spells stirred the stillness, calling forth the divine spark that once animated Osiris, coaxing it to rekindle within his form. This resurrection was no mere return to life, but a transformation, a crossing of thresholds where death itself became a gateway to new beginnings. Osiris rose not as before, but as Lord of the Duat, the eternal realm of the afterlife, where souls found passage and judgment. In his rebirth, he embodied the promise that death was but a doorway, a sacred passage in the endless cycle of Ma'at. Isis's magic wove threads of hope through the darkness, a reminder that love's devotion could transcend even the final veil. Her act was the heart of the myth, a testament to the power of renewal, the sacred dance of loss and recovery that pulses through all life. Through her, the world learned that endings birth beginnings, and from the deepest shadow, light will rise again. Amid this transformation, a new life stirred, the birth of Horus, the falcon-headed god and rightful heir to Osiris's legacy. Born from the union of Isis's magic and Osiris's renewed spirit, Horus carried within him the strength to reclaim order and justice. His arrival was a beacon of hope among ruins, a promise that the sacred balance would be restored. Horus's early days were marked by protection and nurture, hidden from those who would seek to harm him. Raised by his mother's fierce love and guarded by the watchful gods, he grew in strength and wisdom, preparing for the trials that would define his destiny. In Horus, the story of cosmic justice found new breath, a living symbol of renewal, resilience, and the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Beyond the mortal world lies the Duat, a realm both mysterious and sacred, where the souls of the departed journey through shadowed halls and endless night. It is a place of transformation, a threshold between life and what lies beyond. In the heart of this realm, Osiris reigns as Lord and Judge, guiding souls through the eternal passage with calm authority. The Duat is not merely an underworld, but a vital part of the cosmic balance, where death is honored as a passage to renewal, and the soul's journey is woven into the sacred dance of Ma'at. This realm is alive with ancient forces and hidden mysteries. Rivers of darkness flow alongside fields of light spirits, wander seeking truth, and rest guardians watch the boundaries between worlds. The Duat's landscape shifts like a dream, full of trials and revelations that prepare souls for rebirth or rest. It is a place of deep magic and solemn promise, where the balance of life and death is maintained with delicate care. Osiris's throne within the Duat is the foundation of this eternal order. His rule ensures that the cycle of death and rebirth continues unbroken, that Ma'at's sacred harmony endures beyond the world of the living. Through Osiris, the mysteries of the afterlife are made known, offering hope and guidance to all who face the unknown. Horus grew beneath the watchful eyes of gods and guardians, his destiny intertwined with the fate of the throne he was born to claim. From earliest days, he knew his path would be one of challenge and confrontation, a sacred struggle to restore order from chaos. Horus's challenge was not just a battle for power, but a test of cosmic justice, the rightful claim to kingship and balance. Against Set, the god of storms and disorder, Horus faced trials that shaped his strength and wisdom. His journey was marked by battles fierce and moments of deep learning, where wounds became lessons and resilience was forged. Each victory was a step toward restoring Ma'at, each defeat a chance to grow. In this sacred contest, Horus embodied the hope of renewal, the living continuation of Osiris's promise. His claim to the throne was the story of rightful rule, cosmic harmony, and the eternal struggle that defines the balance of the world. Horus rose to face Set in battles that raged not only across the earth, but high above in the sky itself. These confrontations were fierce storms of power and will, where thunder and lightning clashed as symbols of their cosmic struggle. Set, embodying chaos and disorder, sought to claim dominion through force and fear, while Horus stood firm as the champion of order, justice, and rightful kingship. Their conflict was a tempest that shook the heavens, echoing the old tension between creation and destruction. Each clash was both physical and symbolic, a test of strength and resolve that rippled through the very fabric of the cosmos. Horus's courage and cunning met Set's fierce wrath, weaving a story of struggle that reflected the eternal balance between light and shadow. Amid the fury of their battles, the gods watched closely, knowing that the outcome would shape the fate of the world. Horus's wounds and triumphs became lessons of growth and resilience, revealing the true nature of divine kingship. Through pain and perseverance, Horus forged himself into the rightful ruler, a beacon of Ma'at's enduring power. The Council of the Gods gathered to witness this struggle, their voices carrying the weight of cosmic law. In this sacred assembly, judgment was passed and decrees made, determining the rightful order of the universe. The gods weighed the claims of Horus and Set, listening to their truths and grievances with solemn care. Their decision was more than verdict, it was a reaffirmation of Ma'at's sacred balance. Horus was declared the true heir, his kingship a restoration of harmony and justice. This judgment echoed through the heavens and earth alike, sealing the legacy of divine rule and the eternal cycle of order triumphing over chaos. In this moment, the story of Horus became a timeless tale of struggle, growth, and the sacred right to rule, a narrative that continues to inspire the delicate balance of our world. Horus bore the marks of his battles like sacred badges, each wound a testament to the trials that shaped him. His injuries were not mere scars, but symbols of growth forged through pain and perseverance. Each strike from Set's fury tested his resolve, demanding not only strength but wisdom and patience. Through these trials, Horus transformed from a youthful challenger into a leader worthy of kingship, a god tempered by struggle and enlightened by experience. His wounds told stories of sacrifice and endurance, reminders that power without humility could not sustain order. Horus learned to balance courage with compassion, to wield his might in service of Ma'at rather than for personal gain. In his suffering, he found resilience in his perseverance, the true strength of a ruler. His growth was a reflection of the cosmic dance itself, where hardship and healing, conflict and peace intertwine in endless rhythm. As Horus rose, the balance of the cosmos shifted. The forces of chaos that Set had unleashed began to recede before the steady light of order. Horus's triumph was not simply a victory in battle, but a restoration of harmony, cosmic justice renewed through divine will. The heavens and earth alike resonated with this restored balance, the sacred law of Ma'at reaffirmed. Order returned as a living presence, weaving through the stars, the land, and the hearts of gods and mortals. Horus's coronation was more than a ceremony. It was the rebirth of rightful rule, the re-establishment of peace and prosperity. His reign symbolized the enduring promise that justice and balance will prevail against the tides of chaos. Through his journey, Horus became a beacon of hope and stability, a divine king who carried the sacred weight of cosmic order. His story reminds us that through trial and resilience, the harmony of the universe is preserved and renewed. The coronation of Horus was a moment steeped in sacred ceremony and profound symbolism, a divine affirmation that the rightful order had been restored. Beneath the watchful eyes of gods and spirits, Horus was crowned with the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, embodying the unity and balance of the land he now ruled. This act was more than a simple crowning. It was the weaving of heaven and earth, the binding of divine will to mortal realm. As the sacred rituals unfolded, the heavens seemed to respond, the stars shining brighter, the winds carrying whispered blessings. The gods declared Horus the living embodiment of kingship, the protector of Ma'at, entrusted with guiding both gods and humans along the path of harmony and justice. His reign was to be a reflection of the cosmic order itself, a sacred duty to uphold balance in every corner of the world. In this moment, Horus stood not only as a ruler, but as a bridge between the divine and the earthly, carrying the legacy of Osiris and the promise of renewal. His kingship was a living symbol of Ma'at's power, a testament that true leadership requires wisdom, strength, and reverence for the sacred laws that govern all existence. Kingship in Egypt was more than political power. It was the very human expression of Ma'at, the sacred balance that holds the universe in harmony. The pharaoh, seen as Horus incarnate, was both ruler and divine steward, tasked with maintaining the cosmic order through justice, truth, and piety. This legacy shaped the lives of mortals, linking the heavens and the earth in a delicate dance. The king's actions were measured against Ma'at's feather, the symbol of truth and balance, reminding all that leadership was a sacred trust. Through ritual and governance, the pharaoh embodied the eternal principles of harmony, ensuring that chaos never claimed dominion. In the mortal realm, the story of Horus's kingship inspired generations to seek balance within themselves and their communities. It was a reminder that Ma'at's power flows through every heart willing to uphold truth and justice, that the divine dance continues in the lives of all who honor the sacred order. Thus, the legacy of kingship became a living bridge between gods and humans, order and change, the eternal and the fleeting, shaping Egypt's soul and the rhythm of the world itself. Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing, held the sacred role of keeper of words and secrets. His presence was quiet yet profound, a guiding force weaving knowledge into the fabric of the cosmos. With feathered pen and papyrus scroll, Thoth recorded the deeds of gods and mortals alike, preserving the balance of Ma'at through the power of language. He was the divine scribe, whose words shaped reality and whose wisdom illuminated the mysteries hidden beyond mortal sight. Thoth's knowledge was not static, but living, a breath that carried the sacred truths from one generation to the next. Through his speech, laws were established, spells were cast, and the rhythms of the universe were maintained. He moved between worlds, a mediator between gods and humans, guiding those who sought understanding in the face of the unknown. His writings were keys that unlocked hidden doors, revealing secrets that balanced power with responsibility. Magic and speech were intertwined under Thoth's watchful eye. The spoken word held power beyond measure, capable of shaping thought, bending fate, and bridging the seen and unseen. Through incantations and hymns, the divine language flowed, weaving spells that protected, healed, and transformed. This sacred art was a veil between worlds, a delicate boundary where the gods' influence touched the mortal realm. The power behind the veil was both a gift and a responsibility. Magic required wisdom and respect, for words could create as easily as they could destroy. Thoth's guidance ensured that this power was wielded in harmony with Ma'at, preserving the cosmic balance. His presence was a reminder that knowledge and speech are sacred forces, tools for creation, protection, and connection in a world woven with mystery. Anubis, the jackal-headed guardian, stood watch over the sacred passages of the afterlife, guiding souls through the dark and winding paths of the Duat. His presence was both solemn and protective, a steady force ensuring that each departed spirit found its way to judgment and rest. Anubis was the keeper of tombs and the overseer of funerary rites, entrusted with preserving the delicate balance between life and death. With patient care, Anubis led the souls to the scales of Ma'at, where their hearts would be weighed against the feather of truth. His role was not one of judgment, but of guidance, offering safe passage through the mysteries beyond mortal life. In the silent shadows of the underworld, Anubis was a guardian of dignity and honor, watching over the transformation from mortal to eternal. Alongside Anubis moved other guardians and protectors, spirits and minor gods who held watch over the geography of belief, sacred places, and the rituals that bound the living to the dead. Together, they formed a sacred web of care and vigilance, ensuring that the eternal cycle of life and death remained unbroken. Bastet, the graceful lioness goddess, brought warmth and comfort to this divine order. Known as protector of the home and nurturer of the vulnerable, her presence softened the harsh edges of the world. Bastet's grace was a balm to the weary, a guardian of joy and music, whose gentle strength shielded families and souls alike. Her dual nature, fierce yet tender, reflected the sacred balance of Ma'at, embodying both protection and compassion. In times of trouble, her roar could ward off danger in moments of peace. Her soothing presence offered solace. Bastet's care extended beyond the physical, touching the hearts of those who sought comfort and safety. Together, Anubis and Bastet, along with other divine guardians, shaped the sacred geography of belief, a landscape where life, death, protection, and renewal intertwined. Their watchful eyes and loving hearts ensured the eternal cycle flowed smoothly, a testament to the deep harmony woven throughout the cosmos. Sobek, the powerful crocodile god, embodied the wild and untamed forces of the Nile, the river that was the lifeblood of Egypt. His might was fierce and commanding, a reminder that beneath the gentle flow of water lay strength both feared and revered. Sobek's presence in the sacred waters was a symbol of protection and fertility, balancing destruction with renewal in the ever-changing currents of life. The Nile's floods, both a blessing and a threat, were seen as Sobek's breath, bringing fertile soil and nourishment, yet capable of overwhelming all in their path. This dual nature made Sobek a god both respected and feared, a guardian of the river's mysteries and power. His crocodile form was a reminder of nature's raw force, the primal energy that sustains and challenges existence. Sobek's role extended beyond the riverbanks. He was a protector of the pharaoh and the land, called upon to defend against chaos and enemies. His fierce strength was invoked in rituals that sought to harness the wild energy of the Nile for the benefit of all. Through Sobek, the Egyptians recognized the delicate balance between harnessing nature's power and respecting its unpredictability. The landscape of Egypt was more than earth and stone. It was a sacred geography shaped by gods, spirits, and ancient forces. Temples, tombs, and holy sites marked the land as places where the divine touched the mortal world, gateways where heaven and earth intertwined. Each sacred place held its own stories, rituals, and guardians, woven into the fabric of belief. Spirits of the land, river, and sky moved unseen among the people, embodying the forces of nature and the mysteries beyond. These presences were honored and respected, their favor sought in daily life and grand ceremonies alike. The sacred geography was alive, a living map of connection and power that shaped the rhythms of existence. Through these places and spirits, the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth was made tangible. Pilgrims and priests walked these paths with reverence, participating in rituals that renewed Ma'at and strengthened the bond between worlds. This sacred landscape was both home and sanctuary, a reminder that all life is held within the divine embrace. In the silent halls where souls arrive after their mortal journey, judgment unfolds as a sacred ritual, an eternal cycle weaving death and life into one seamless rhythm. The heart of the departed is weighed against Ma'at's feather, the symbol of truth and balance. This moment is not merely a test, but a passage where the soul's purity and deeds find their measure in the great cosmic order. Those whose hearts are light and true are granted passage to eternal renewal, a rebirth into the fields of peace and abundance beyond the veil. Here, life continues in harmony with the divine rhythms, a promise that death is but a doorway to new beginnings. For those whose harps carry shadows, the journey is one of transformation, a chance to learn and return, bound within the endless dance of existence. This cycle of judgment and renewal reflects the very heartbeat of the universe, the sacred pulse that moves through gods and mortals alike. It reminds all who listen that life and death are intertwined threads, part of a grand tapestry woven by Ma'at's gentle hand. The eternal cycle honors both endings and beginnings, holding them close in the embrace of balance. As the scales tip and the soul moves onward, the promise of renewal shines bright, a testament to the enduring power of truth, justice, and the sacred order. Through this cycle, the cosmos breathes, dances, and endures, forever turning in the light of Ma'at's eternal flame. And so, under the quiet stars, our journey through the dawn of creation comes to a gentle close. We have wandered through the silent waters of Nun, witnessed the birth of gods and worlds, and felt the pulse of cosmic balance in every breath and heartbeat. From autumn's awakening to Horus's triumphant rise, the sacred dance of life, death, and renewal has unfolded before us, weaving a tapestry of timeless myth and meaning. These stories carry within them the quiet wisdom of ages, a reminder that from stillness comes motion, from darkness, light, and from endings, new beginnings. They invite us to rest within the sacred rhythm, to trust the unfolding mystery that holds us all. As you close your eyes and drift towards sleep, may the gentle presence of Ma'at's balance soothe your mind and heart. If you happen to still be awake, you can go ahead and watch the next chapter now. And if not, you're warmly invited to subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the story. There's much more ahead. And so, under the quiet stars, the story continues. I hope you sleep well and dream softly. Good night.